Students, we will take up today classification and its types. So classification is the word we have heard since our school time. Whenever we utter the word classification, we became very much tense because it is quite difficult to understand. To make it understand, I have used here the picture of a mall. So if you see the picture of a mall, you will find that inside the mall or any other shop, medical shop or the kirana shop, you will find that the things or the commodities are arranged in a specific manner. They will keep the soaps or the detergents or the food items in the different shelves. Or even there are sections of the food, then the stationeries and other commodities. And therefore, here for the customer, it finds it very easy to pick up whatever he wants. So the person who wants the food items will go to the food section. The person who wants the stationery, he will go to the stationery section. Or the person who wants the clothes, he will go to the clothes section and he will get whatever he wants. So it becomes very easy for the customer to go to that place. Or even a shopkeeper also keeps the things in a proper order so that you will get whatever the customer asks within a minute. Even in the medical shop also, the medicines are kept in a specific order. That means in a one shelf, the medicines for the older persons or the medicines for the children or the generic medicines are kept in different shelves. In that way, the shopkeepers or the medical stores are having certain order, and therefore such particular order is said to be the classification. So classification by P.H. Davis and V.H. Haywood is that it is a natural occupation of the man and recognition one of his most necessary pastime. He must discriminate whether he likes it or not between the objects that form part of his everyday life. So the classification is the basic, what we can say, instinct of the man. He must classify the things. Even in our home also, we classify the things according to the certain order. First, that means the clothes are kept in a specific place, the books are kept in a shelf, or whatever the things are there in a house, these are kept in a specific manner, and therefore we are having the classification in our home also. So classification is not a new thing for us, and therefore classification makes our lives very easy. So keeping the things in order in the same way, if we see the classification, a scientific definition of the classification, it tells us that classification is a systematic method of arranging the organisms into different groups and subgroups based on their similarities and their differences. So here the things in the mall, they are kept in a specific order. That means all the soaps are kept in a specific section or the shelves. The food items are kept in a different section, or the detergents are kept in different section. So in that way, here the things are arranged in the different section according to their similarities and differences. So similar things are kept together, and if there is disparities, that those two groups are separated from each other. So that is nothing but the classification in a simple way. So what is the need of classification exactly? So the first need is to provide a suitable method for identification of the plant and the animals. So here if we take the classification, it makes to identify very easy. So identification it becomes very easy when we use the classification. And next is to make it easy to understand characteristics of the organisms. So if we classify the things, it becomes very easy for us to understand the characteristic of the organisms. Then to make it convenient for the study. So if we want to study the organisms one by one and if you want to study the whole group of the organisms, it becomes very difficult. But if you take the help of the classification, or if you classify the things in an orderly manner, then it becomes very convenient for the study. To arrange the organisms in such order that it reflects the evolutionary trend. So this is the recent need, or the new need which is created by the workers. Here the classification is done, or it is created in such a fashion that it reflects a certain kind of evolutionary trend, and therefore this classification is having a new what we can say a new need which is created by the taxonomist. Next is to understand the interrelationship among the different groups of organisms. So here the different groups, if they are related, they are kept in one category, and if they are not having the similarities, or there is no relationship, they are separated from each other. So here the classification helps to understand the interrelationship among the different groups of the organisms. Then, to help in understanding of great diversity and the complexity of the living forms. So if there is a diversity, we are getting confused how the things can be studied. So therefore, to make it very easy, here the classification helps. So it finds a unity in diversity, or there is a certain rule which is found out by the taxonomist, or the person who is classifying the things, and therefore it is very easy for us to understand the diversity and complexity of the living forms. So classification is like finding address or creating the address of the plants and animals. Why I am stating this? Because classification uses certain kind of the terms. So this is the classification which is here I am depicting. This is the classification of the hibiscus, or in Marathi it is called as Jaswanda, in Hindi it is called as Jasud, and this is the classification of the hibiscus, or this is the classification of the China rose. So kingdom, plantae, division, Phanerogams, class Cotyledons, series Thalamiflora, order Malvaceae, family Malvaceae, genus Hibiscus, and species Rosa sinensis. Now, what are these particular things which is there on the left hand side of the classification? These are nothing but the categories. Now, if we compare this particular thing with this aspect of address, so it will be becoming more understandable. So if we want to give the address of a person, what we take? First of all, country, state, district, taluka, village, house number, surname and name. So this is the proper address of a person. So person living in India, then in Maharashtra, then district, it could be anything. So what it may be. So here this is the address of a person. So what these are the terms? So these are nothing but the categories. So what this category is? The definition of the category is rank provided to the taxonomic group of plants. Rank provided to the taxonomic group of plant, it is called as the category. So on what basis the rank is given? So rank is given on the basis of number of individuals involved in the taxonomic group. Higher the number of individuals in a taxonomic group, higher is the rank. So if you consider the country, the number of individuals in the country will be more. So its rank is at the top. If you take a state of a country, or the portion of a country, or region of the country, then it will have the less number of individuals than the country, and therefore it will be having the rank below the country. The state or the region will have the rank below the country. In the same way, the number of individuals, if you go from the country to the name, the number of individuals involved will become lesser and lesser. So if we go downward, the number of individuals go on decreasing. So therefore it is a rank provided to the taxonomic group. Now what these particular terms at the right hand side of the classification, so these are nothing but these are taxa, singular is taxon. So what the taxa is, or say taxon is, group of plants having certain similarities, it is called as the taxa. So the plantae is a taxon, Phanerogam is a taxon. So the plant, whenever we utter the word kingdom plantae, that means all the plants are here coming in this, and therefore it is having the higher rank. So here the taxonomic group, whenever we have the taxonomic group, that is plantae, it will have so many number of individuals, because all the photosynthetic individuals will be grouped into this, and therefore it is having the higher rank. So in that way, here the taxon is nothing but the group of individuals which are having the certain similarities, and here the taxon is given a rank according to the number of individuals involved in that particular taxa, and also here the similarities into that. So if we move on from the upward to the downward, the similarity increases while the number of individuals go on decreasing. So that is the characteristic of the classification. Next we'll take up the history of classification. So history of classification dates back to the ancient period. In India, the history of classification dates back to the ancient period. In Vriksha Ayurveda, Rishi Parashar has given the classification of the plant according to their habit, number of leaves, internal structure of the leaves, external morphology of the leaves, etc. So Rishi Parashara has used so many criteria to classify the plants, and you will not find any contemporary record of that particular time period in the Western literature, but in India we are having this particular literature in the form of Vriksha Ayurveda. So there is a glimpse of the classification here. The plants are classified according to the habit. So Aushadhi, medicinal plants; Vanaspati, fruiting trees; Vriksha, fruiting of the flower, fruit or the flower bearing trees; Gucha, shrubs; then the Gulm, succulent plants; Trin, grasses; Pratana, climbers; and Valli, twiners. So here there are so many categories which are there created by the Rishi Parashara. I am not taking here all. I have taken just a classification of the plants on the basis of the habits. Now if we take the Western literature, in the Western literature we are having the work of the Theophrastus. So Theophrastus has done a huge work in the classification. The first thing he has done is he has also classified the plants according to the modes of generation, their regularities, their sizes, then its uses, practical uses, juices, herbs. He has also used so many criteria for the classification. And most important work done by the Theophrastus is that he has given the systemization of the botanical terms. So he has systemized the botanical terms. So some of the terms which we use today, that is the inferior or the superior ovary, polypetalous, and the gamopetalous corolla, these are the terms which are given by the Theophrastus. And therefore, according to this particular work, here the Carolus Linnaeus has called him as the father of botany. Second type of classification is natural classification. Charles Darwin in 1859 in its evolutionary theory proposed that present day plants are descendants of ancient plants developed through a series of changes as adaptation to the changing environment. Thus, classification which groups the plant according to the evolutionary relationship, it is called as natural classification. So, after the Darwin's theory, the sea change occurred in the classification systems, and workers started to find out the evolutionary relationship between the plant groups or the animal groups, and therefore such classifications were called as the natural classification. It is also called as horizontal classification because here all observable characteristics are taken into consideration. The value of the characteristic is dependent upon the correlation with the other characteristics. If it is correlated with many number of characteristics, it is having the more importance. So therefore, that is the natural classification, which is also called as horizontal classification. The best example of natural classification is the classification which is given by George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker in a book called Genera Plantarum. This is a 3-volume book published during 1862 and 83. It includes a description of around 97,000 species of the plants known at that time. It's a huge kind of a species which they have described in this book. So this particular book is including the elaborate classification. It is the first of the elaborate classification or the detailed classification, and this classification includes the 3 classes, 3 subclasses, 21 series, 25 cohorts, and 202, that means 202 orders. So orders here that they can be compared with the families, and the cohorts can be compared with the present day category, that is order. So we will take up this classification in detail in the next video. So the classification which is given by George Bentham and Joseph Hooker, it is said to be the natural classification. Next is the last one is phylogenetic classification. What is the definition of the phylogenetic classification? Classification which tries to explain the evolutionary trend in different plant groups, and which is often explained on the basis of lineage tree. It is called as phylogenetic classification. So here the phylogenetic classification tries to find out the evolutionary trend or the steps of the evolution. So these steps of this evolution, they are depicted in tree diagram. So here tree diagram, it is represented here. So the basis cactus or the basis cactus, Basie is a taxonomist. Charles Basie is a taxonomy. So this basis cactus is drawn here. So at the bottom you can see the Rannells order, then the Roselles, then it is followed by the Myrtles. Another lineage goes to the Lilials, another here the lineage goes to the Geranials, Caryophyllus, and at the top we will find the Asterales. So here this such kind of classification tries to find out the lineage or the evolutionary trend, and therefore it is represented in the form of a tree. So therefore such classification is also called as vertical classification. Such classification is also called as vertical classification. So the best example of these particular classifications can be grouped into the 2 schools. This classification is also called as post-Darwinian classification, and it is grouped into the 2 schools because of certain reasons. Because there is one school which is formulated by the Engler. So this particular this school means a thought. So the systems are categorized on the basis of the primitive nature of the angiosperms. So there is a conflict between the taxonomist about which is the primitive angiosperm. So Englerian school or the school of thought proposed by the Engler believes that monocots are the primitive plants, while the dicots are more advanced. But the Rannellian school, which is formulated by the Charles Basie, so it believes that the dicots are primitive while the monocots are more advanced. So here there are two such schools, and these particular classifications can be grouped into these particular kinds of these schools. And here these classifications are vast, so the studying this classification is beyond the syllabus, and therefore will not discuss all the classification. Just take into consideration that there are two schools of the thoughts of the phylogenetic classifications, Englander school and Ranelagh school. Englander school is formulated by the H.G. Adolf Engler in 1892, and which believes that monocots are primitive, while the Ranelagh school is formulated, or it is the school which is formulated by the workers, and the founder is taken to be the Charles Bassett, according to the classification proposed by the Charles Bassett in 1883 in his book. And therefore here it believes that the dicots are primitive while the monocots are more advanced. So therefore here this is the phylogenetic classification. So I hope you have understood the classification and its types. Thank you.